Hi there. I don't think I'm muted anymore. I can't see. Oh, okay. Yeah. It doesn't look like I'm muted. Boy, I don't know if anybody else is having a day, but it's been a day today. It's been one of those super califragilistic days. Probably not saying that the best way. Hey, Tammy. I just see Facebook user, but hello, Facebook user. I know. Here I am, Danielle, with the full moon ritual. Now, this is a I wanted to do metaphysical practices tonight because tomorrow night is the Friday night before the full moon. But it's also Good Friday, and I'm not like I don't want to mess up people's their religious affiliations. I just don't want to mess that up. So it's been a crazy day. People at the store were cranky. Yeah. Who is this Facebook user? And I love it, but all I see is Facebook user. It's great. Oh, thank you, Carrie. Carrie is on tonight. Loving that. She has this wonderful show, Spirit Guidance, and it's on Facebook and YouTube. Highly recommend it. Highly. I know where the Facebook users are coming from. Some of the groups that I put on here, it doesn't put their names because, like, if it's a private group, not everybody in the group wants to know let everybody know who they are. Yeah, so this is what's going on. Hi, Kelsey. Hey, Robin. This is yeah, it's been cranky. Everybody's been cranky. There's been like some craziness. So I want to talk about some of the things that happen with full moon in Libra. All right, so Badger's not in here tonight. He is out literally catting about with a little pal of his. He found, hey Cindy, he found another stray cat that he actually gets along with. And Dr. Seuss has been saying that I'm trying to hijack another cat and bring it in. Well, it did spend the night in the house last night, but it wasn't hard to tempt this cat. So, but Badger is out catting about with him. So I'm hoping to gonna add to my flock. I know, hijacking the stray cats in the neighborhood. So, full moon in Libra hits its pinnacle at 2. I need my glasses on. At 2:56 p.m. on Saturday. So, in the afternoon. Hey, Lance. Lance, tonight I am wearing the happy lashes. That's what these are called. Happy. I just thought it would be fun. Happy. Um, so the full moon hits its pinnacle at 2:55 p.m. on Saturday, on the 16th. So there's a lot of stuff happening astrologically on Saturday with this full moon. We've got the moon square Pluto. We've got the moon trying to Saturn. The moon is also trying Mars. There's a lot of stuff happening astrologically. So, with this full moon in Libra, I want to talk about some of the things that Libra governs. It governs like relationships, partnerships. It's not just romantic relationships, but it can be like a lot of partners, a lot of like um uh, a lot of friendships. That's a good one. Like parent child relationships, families. So this is a good time to address some of that. I guess that's a good way to put it. I finally found out why my cat was meowing and moaning. I thought it was because my other cat passed away. Nope. I had two new spirits in my house. Oh my gosh. Kelsey, I totally understand that. Mm. So, Facebook user is 27 degrees Libra. Is that your sun sign? That seems like that's fun. I mean, I absolutely love working with Libras. I feel like I am surrounded because Rachel, my partner in crime, is a Libra, big Libra. And then Mystic Lee is a Libra. And I'm like, wow, I think. I think God's trying to tell me something. I think the universe is trying to tell me something. They're trying to tell me I clearly need more balance. Right? Yeah. So, this particular full moon in Libra is all about understanding those closest to you, which can be really challenging. It can be easy, it can be smooth, or it can be ambivalent. But the thing is, it has to be both parties, right? Like, it can't just be one sided because what is a Libra? It's the scales. So you can't have just like one doing all the work and the other one not, or vice versa. That's when you get your empaths and narcissists, that relationship. That's when you get the codependent and again the narcissist. So we don't need that, we don't need that kind of um energy in our daily lives, right? I mean, that's just not something we need to do. So sometimes I will say this, sometimes relationships are like that where somebody is carrying a heavier burden than the other, but it evens out, it equals out. You see this in like business partnerships and marriages. It happens. I mean, that's the give and take of the relationship. However, if it's like always, off center, you got problems. So I'm hoping that not a lot of you have like relationship issues right now because while there's a lot of spell work for love relationships, I don't recommend them. I know, Robin. I think I have a group that's called the Developing Empath. They're all like emotional empaths. But we have I don't recommend like a lot of love spells because I feel like love spells affect somebody else's free will. And if they're not feeling it for you, there's no spell in the world that is going to make them feel it for you for a long time. So that's that being said, there's a lot of other things that you can look at to strengthen relationships that you already have, to strengthen maybe relationships between siblings, to strengthen relationships between business partnerships, to strengthen relationships between friends, to strengthen relationships between parent and child. And because sometimes those do need a little they need a little pick me up. They need a little, you know. Okay, Dr. Seuss and I've been together for like 12 years now. So, sometimes I feel like we need a little pick me up and, you know, just with relationships like that, you just like bring out the tequila, right? Just there's your magic spell is like take a couple of shots of tequila and be like, "I now what we doing?" I know. It's like bringing out Barry White. I mean, his voice is a spell, right? I mean, yeah. Hey, Glenda, how are you? So there's a lot of stuff that balance is the key here when you're trying to strengthen relationships. It's balance, 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 which is so great because that's what Libras are all about is balance, balance, balance. This shirt really looks dirty, doesn't it? But it's not. It's just like a weird faded material, but it's Tybee Island. It's Tybee Island, Georgia, man. It's really great. Remember shows. Oh, thank you, Carrie. You're so sweet. Hey, Veronica. How you doing? So let's think about like when you are conducting any kind of spell to strengthen a relationship. It all the ones that I've said, parent and child, business, friendships, like whatever. Siblings, like I talked to somebody today that we were talking about strengthening sibling relationship because one sibling got engaged and the other sibling was like really, really feeling like left out, feeling like the partnership's no longer there. You know, it's not true. It's just that the one sibling that got engaged is so excited and is wanting to include her sister and everything. But the sister that's not engaged is just like, I just broke up with my boyfriend. I don't really like, not really excited to see that, happiness. So the first thing that we want to do is like have a pure heart and spirit. Okay? Because balance is the key. We need to purify all like vindictive, defensive, like things that are like frustrating or revenge or resentments. That's a good one. Fear, anger, annoyance, all those things that are like coming from you. You need to purify yourself of that. Now, I say that because it's not easy. So when I say it, it sounds like, oh, I'm just going to go purify myself. No, that shit is not easy. I mean, has anybody here ever tried to clarify butter? Boy, that's a boatload of fun, isn't it? Like, as the butter cools, it like just like gelatinous. Yeah. So I'm just telling you that this is not easy, but it's incredibly worth it. Uh, like Jasmine's agitated because her partner in crime, Badger, isn't down here. Yeah, she's a little upset. Maybe I should try to heal that relationship. So we need to purify ourselves and make sure that our motives are altruistic, that our motives and intent are pure for everybody that's involved and it's for everybody's best and highest good. So that's an important one. Now I say that because there's not too much like involved in it besides like your intention. Um, Release what no longer serves one highest good. Yes, Veronica, you're right. And Badger is playing with a new kitten friend. Well, it's a young cat. It's not a kitten, but it's a young cat. It's so sweet. I'm just like so cute. So, what we're going to do is we're going to like I like to smudge to help purify. So I smudge with sage and cedar. Now, this is just my preference. The lovely lady in the chat, Carrie Rodriguez, who is La Hermosa Bruja. Wait a minute. I think I have her. Let me see. Um, I do have it. Okay. So this is Carrie's information on here. La Hermosa Bruja. She does some really fantastic smudge. All right. I think she sells it through her Facebook or like her website. But she does a lot of stuff on Facebook and YouTube. So I highly, highly recommend you go check her out. But I love her smudge powder. Was it actually wasn't powder, it was like ground up herbs, but it was powdery. So I was able to just put it in my abalone shell and just like, and I even have a little smudge pot, like a tiny one, and that was wonderful. Like I was able to use it in that. So this is like really she does some awesome smudge and it's like different is for different things too. So if you're looking to purify, I like to use sage and cedar. But I also like to use the shit that I grow in my garden. All right. So I have a big cedar tree. Yeah. So I clip from that all the time. Of course, I grow rosemary in my garden. So I use rosemary a lot for a lot of stuff. I grow sage. Now, I am not growing, clearly, I'm not growing the white sage that they grow like for Native Americans and stuff. But I do grow the sage that you stuff up in the turkey. Yeah. So I will use that because I'm putting my intention into it. But if I don't have it, I'll use rosemary because this is who I am. Ha ha ha. Because I love using rosemary. I mean, it's just one of my favorites. It's one of my go-tos. So, that I like to use that, and I purify myself before I start putting in my intention and in my prayer. So, hey Lee, how's it going? Hey, is this another candle spell? It's not candle per se, Diane, but we are talking about strengthening relationships. So, um, okay, so sage is good for it cleanses unwanted cleanses and removes unwanted energy. Um Sweetgrass invites energy in, energy that you want or are attracting. So we can use that in the second part of it. Like if you're wanting to if you really are wanting to bring in some pure love for your sibling, parent, child, the PTA group, if you're trying to strengthen that relationship. I just say that because the PTA has been on my ass about joining, like wanting me to be a part of their little clique. It just seems like a lot of work. Sorry, I digress. So sweetgrass is a good one to bring in this energy. It also promotes peace, harmony, and it uplifts and adds luck. So I do like sweetgrass. I use sweetgrass after I cleanse, after I purify. Okay, back to things that purify and will help you purify yourself. I have a list here. Sorry. Rosemary brings peace. And yeah, cedar brings in good spirits, higher vibration. Um, so there's a lot of different things. Lavender is another one that's really good for purification, so it's awesome. Hey Courtney, how's it going? So these are the ones that I use to purify myself before I start setting the intention of I want to strengthen this relationship. And excuse me, as I said, this is not necessarily about a romantic relationship, because when I'm trying to strengthen my relationship with Dr. Seuss, um, I just order in food that we don't have to cook and we really don't have to clean up after, and then we just break out a bottle of tequila. That'll strengthen us right up. Of course, we've only been together for like 12 years, so I mean, some of you that's been married for a long period of time, I mean, maybe it takes more. I don't know. But I'm also lazy when it comes to that kind of stuff. Um, like strengthening my relationship with Dr. Seuss. I won't go into everything else I do. So let's go. Oh, I love that. Variety is good. Um, did I miss something? Release what? Oh God, what did I do? Hey, Alexis. Um, okay, something just happened. I think I got disconnected from YouTube. I don't know what happened. This is crazy. Okay, all except. Okay, so I had to have like the antivirus people work on my computer today, which is another reason why I was running late. Um because there was just some weird shit happening with my computer. So I think I've got it figured out, but it looks like I just got kicked off of YouTube for some reason. I don't I don't really know what happened. So it's just crazy. Hey, Ashley Nicole. Um, yeah, I saw people in from YouTube on here. There's Courtney. It's just all of a sudden it just went away. It's back. It's fine. Okay, so when we are strengthening our relationships, again, not necessarily love relationships, because I don't recommend doing any kind of love spells to bring in romance. Strengthening a romance that you already have is a different thing. Um but or repelling it. Sometimes we need to repel that stuff. Yeah. That may be a different episode. Um, but it's really, really important that you purify yourself before you start conducting this spell. So if we're wanting to like strengthen our friendships, or if we're like today when I was talking to like one of my clients and her sister, like they're trying to deal with each other and they're trying to learn each other because their roles are changing, not as siblings, but their roles are changing a little bit because one is getting married and one is not. One is ending a relationship and one is just beginning like a new phase of a relationship. So it's changing their dynamic a little bit. So what I suggested for them is to burn rose petals because it's it encourages self-love, it encourages positivity, but I know poor Dr. Seuss, Christina. But it also helps remove grief. So when you're burning rose petals, it helps to like pull that grief off. If you're grieving because your relationship has altered a little bit. And that's what was happening between these sisters. And it's not anything bad. Hey Angie, how are you? Oh my gosh, Bobby, hey, how's it going? So it's not that they were grieving because they weren't going to be able to spend time together or anything, but the sisters did not realize that they were grieving because their relationship has altered. It's moving in a different direction because one's getting married and one just ended a long-term relationship. Todd, oh my gosh, how are you? Okay, I met these fabulous people in Las Vegas. I th- there's like stories here. I should do a live with them. They were so fantastic and they had the cutest dog. Oh my gosh. But him and his wife are they do investigations and they're just really really cool people. So, hey Todd. Um what we want to do after we purify ourselves, you can burn some of the things that I'm talking about here, like sweetgrass, roses, like rose petals, to help like put some of that good energy into your intention for healing and strengthening those relationships. So, if you are dealing with a sibling, if you're dealing with a parent, or if you're dealing with like business associates or people that you're working with, um, and you can definitely clear the air of your partnerships, let's say. It's a good thing. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Well, Todd's a lucky man. Rachel and I walked up on him when he was playing the slot machines, and we were just like, "Yeah, I want to sit beside him, like feed off of some of that luck. It'd be great." We're doing good, Todd. We're doing good. So, thank you. I hope you guys are doing well. I keep seeing y'all posts on Facebook, but so we really want to make sure that we're in a pure place, we're in a good space with it. um i I like to use, I like to use rosemary for a lot of stuff. I like to use lavender for a lot of things because sometimes you also need to bring calm into the situation. If everybody's amped up, if everybody's like having a cow, so I did this. I hope they're not listening right now, but I did this with one of my brothers and one of my dads. I have three brothers and two dads. It's a long story. So what I did when I was trying to clear their relationship and I was trying to instill some peace with them is I purified myself. I put the intention in this relationship and I was coming to this without trying to interfere with their free will, because this isn't a romantic relationship. This is a father son. And I'm sitting on the outside looking at both of them just fighting each other and saying the same thing, but they're not hearing each other. And it had just gotten so bad, it was just messed up. So, what I did was, I, of course, went out and stood in the full moon and I purified myself. And then I started just pulling in the energy of my brother and my dad. And I was like, I'm looking at this as a family member. And so I put us in sort of like a triangle dynamic where I had my brother and my dad, and I'm looking at it like I'm looking at him as a parent, I'm looking at him as a sibling. And I'm like, but I want to repair this relationship that's coming across the top. So, and I wasn't trying to take any of that energy on myself, and I wasn't trying to interfere with their free will. What I was trying to do is create a peaceful place enough, like almost like a level playing field, so that they could just communicate with each other, so that they could just see that they both were saying the same thing. They were saying it very differently. I mean, Pisces and a Capricorn. Are you kidding me with this shit? So they were saying it very differently. They're both headstrong individuals. And I was like, oh, no, we just need to get a peaceful playing field. So I put it as part of me, like as my relationship with the two of them. And then I bridged their relationship, like sort of together. So it was like a little bit of a triangle here. And I brought in lavender, I brought in rosemary. And I was like, we need some peace here. We need peace. We need everything to calm down and just bring it in, and just so that they can breathe and talk to each other. Now, it worked. It did. But then, it's like the Hatfields and McCoys with them sometimes. So I need to reinforce that. So I'll probably be reinforcing that spell on Saturday, because those two, like, we had another presidential election. It wasn't even, I don't even think it was presidential this time. We just had another election, and these two are on opposite ends of the political spectrum. So it's so much fun. Yeah, to watch them. Ah, yeah. Hey, Catlin, how are you? You do some great posts, by the way. If this is the Catlin that I'm thinking about. So these are the kind of relationships that I'm referring to. Also, your coworkers. You spend more time with your coworkers, like typically 8 hours a day, right? 5 days a week. You spend more time with your coworkers probably than you do your husband, unless or your spouse. Sorry, your wife or your husband, or I don't know, your favorite goat. But it, like, you spend more time with your coworkers typically, unless you work with your spouse. So it's important to have like a good dynamic and a good working relationship, right? Here's another place where you can use this. Now, the one that is really, really good for um like that kind of energy, for bringing in like positive energy into that kind of relationship, into a coworker or a business relationship, is the sweetgrass. Because after you cleanse yourself, after you purify yourself, and you bring in the sweetgrass, because sweetgrass really symbolizes kindness. I mean, it's sweet, right? I mean, oh, sweet. So it symbolizes kindness, and you want to use the sweetgrass again to invite in energy that, or energy that you're trying to attract. Um, with that, so you want to say, I want to bring in a harmonious energy. I want to bring in a peaceful energy. I want to bring in the kind of energy that is uplifting to everybody here. Sometimes it that helps bringing in confidence to people, because a lot of people, when they're acting out, especially at work, oh, my eyelashes going a little crazy tonight. um the Especially at work, it's because they lack confidence. It's because they lack that in their lives. So bringing in the sweetgrass is really wonderful. Also, bonus, sweetgrass adds luck to everything. I know. Um, Something in the chat just triggered me to say this. What if you were trying to get along with an ex-spouse that you share a child with? What if you're trying to get along not only with an ex-spouse, but what if they have a new spouse or a new love or something? This is a really good one for that as well. like all of these. But I say again, if you didn't hear it the first time, I want to make sure you guys hear this. You have to have a pure heart and spirit before conducting this spell. Okay? Because I don't do love spells. I think that's just total bullshit. You know, if you don't have it in you, if you're like not wanting to giddy up with that person, no amount of spell work is going to keep it going. It may light a fire under you temporarily. It may like give them a boost and be like, oh, I think I could take that for a test drive, but it's not going to last, and it messes with their free will. And that's not the kind of witch that you want to be. That's not the kind of spells you want to put out there. So, when we are talking about like relationship work and relationship spells, I am talking about relationships other than romantic relationships specifically here. Yeah. Um there are other ways for you to like, I guess it's like draw in like your soulmate, or draw in like, you know, somebody that you're just like, I would like a partner. There's other ways to do that without curbing their free will. But that's, again, that's not what we're talking about tonight, because this full moon in Libra is all about partnerships, alliances, different kinds of relationships, and understanding that those closest to you, it can be easy or challenging to understand during this particular time. Isn't that fun? So, do we want it to be smooth, or do we want it to be rocky and full of ruts? I know, I'm so much fun. Okay, so when we're purifying ourselves, we're going to pure ourselves of all vindictive, defensive, revenge based thoughts or feelings that we have, frustrations, resentments, fear, anger, annoyance, all of these things that could possibly be coming from us towards that person. We have to purify it. It's a lot of baggage. It's a lot of shit you don't need to be carrying around. I mean, what the fuck you want to carry that around for? We got plenty of other stuff that you can be carrying around and worrying about. You don't need to carry around this stuff. Bobby, you're just so sweet. Good evening. So we really need to have positive motives here. The motives have to be altruistic, and the intent must be pure for the good of all involved in order for this to work. Okay. So you can't just go in and say, you know, that bitch I'm working with is just about on my last nerve. Can't stand her. Not wanting anything good to come to her, but I sure would like for her to shut her mouth. This is not that spell. Okay. This is the kind of spell where you're just like, we need to have a good working relationship. We need to have some harmony here. Harmony does not mean overwhelming joy. Harmony is the balance between light and dark, just like the yin and yang symbol. Okay. So, harmony is that balance. We need to have some balance in our working life. We need to have some balance here. I wish nothing for the best for her, him, it, the goat that's the mascot in the office. I know. Um, whatever it is, I want to have harmony here. I want to flourish. I want them to flourish. We're going to create this, and for everyone involved, and push that energy out. Push that energy out. That's why you also maybe want to add some confidence in this, because a lot of times people are weird at work when they don't feel confident, when they feel that fear. So, when we're removing some of that unwanted stuff, like, um, sorry, I don't have my glasses on. Um, when we're removing some of that, there it is. You can dispel some of the bad things that you think they're feeling or that you're getting off of them with thyme, rosemary, cedar. Cedar is another one that is a purifier, but it also attracts positive emotions. It brings us to those higher vibrations. It's a deer head, and his name is Wayne. Wayne has been through some shit. Okay, that is hilarious. Hey, Lori, how are you? That is hilarious that you're talking about a deer head that you work with. See, I make jokes about like I don't care whether you're dating a man, a woman, or a goat, just as long as you call them the next day. So I don't care if you're working with a man, woman, or goat. Let's try to get through our working environment. No, I'm sorry. Um, I'll stop making jokes that everybody. I feel like everybody in the chat's like crickets. Like that's weird. She's so weird. Yeah, I am. So balance is the key here, which is why we're doing this in the full moon in Libra. It's going to be great. After we pure all of those vindictive, defensive, yada, yada, yada tendencies again, we're going to put it out there with our good intentions and say, for everyone involved, do we need peace here? Do we need to calm the situation down? Do we need to remove grief? Like, especially in siblings and parent and child relationships, do we need to pull that grief off of there? Because who can hurt your feelings the quickest? Your spouse and people you're related to. And I'm real quick to call them out on it. I'm like, of course, I don't say, "Oh my gosh, you hurt my feelings." I go, "You're being an asshole. That made me mad. That hurt my feelings." And then, if that doesn't start it, something else I say will. Yeah, it's good. Here's another little thing. If you see people that are having some challenges dealing with their psychic abilities, or they need to like clear out, maybe they need to clear out some of their psychic abilities, or let me say this, they need to clear out some of the things that are holding back their psychic abilities. You can always use mugwort in that, burning mugwort, because mugwort also prevents attacks. It prevents spiritual attacks, psychic attacks. To me, it prevents people wanting to attack each other like verbally. So I've used this in my workplace before. When I lived in Denver, I would use this to help prevent us like attacking each other verbally when there was a lot of challenges going on in the workplace. I was like, okay, let's calm this down. We're not going to attack each other. And so in order to pull the attacks out, I would burn mugwort. So it's fun. It's fun. Diane, you're so sweet. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining us. All of us. Look at how many people are here. God, I'm sorry, you guys. Like the happy eyelashes are falling off. I don't know what's going on. And it's a very weird night here. It's been like raining like for the past day ish. And so it's humid, so it's a little bit warm, but it's also like breezy. It's a very strange, like the, uh, the temperature is really strange, and I think it's wrecking my eyelashes. To be honest with you, yeah. So this is how you need to go about if you want to balance any kind of relationships. If you want to like put it out there for to clear out your relationships while you're in this. If you want to clarify, if you want to put some clarification in that, which I did do for my dad and my brother, I put some clarification in it. So what I used was when it's in season, I use honeysuckle for clarification. So when I am trying to clarify, like so that people can see each other's side, or they can see the truth, or they can see the wisdom of the situation, I use honeysuckle for that. But you can also use squash or zucchini blossoms, rosemary and thyme, my favorites. and something called bachelor's buttons. Those are flowers. I like the blue ones. They're really awesome. Uh, very bipolar, 58, and then, yeah, it's crazy. This temperature is all over the place, Suzanne. You can also use crystals for this, just to let you know. So crystals that you use, Rachel will love this. Labradorite, snowflake obsidian, fluorite, and amethyst. Yeah. And if you need to buy any of those, you can buy them from La Hermosa Bruja or Realistic Holistic. And I have that in a tick or two. I just have to find it. Really good at this. Yeah. Okay. There. Now it's Realistic Holistic. So those are really wonderful. Um, I just hope that everybody out there is doing this again from a real place of love and seeing that it's not just romantic relationships that always need to be healed. Sometimes it's friendships that need to be strengthened or healed. Sometimes it's coworkers. Sometimes it's parent child. Sometimes it's siblings. Sometimes it really is how we are dealing with our ex and are there children involved. Because I know that when my biological parents were angry with each other, I always felt like I was in the middle. Yeah. Luckily, the people that they chose to marry the second time around, they didn't seem to have as many arguments with. They just like to argue with, the original ones like to argue, but the second marriages, they seem to be okay with. That is just where we're having a lot of problems with siblings and parents. So I hope that this helps you, especially during this full moon in Libra. You can actually conduct this ritual anytime. The other time that I conduct this ritual besides at a full moon in Libra is I conduct this exactly when the moon is half, like it's like a half moon. So when the moon is half full and half dark, that half light and half dark, and it looks like the black and white cookie, from Seinfeld. Um, so I like to use the moon's energy then because there's a lot of balance during that time of the moon. Um, and we just had that last Saturday too. Oh, and it was in Cancer. How about that? So, we just had that last Saturday as well. So, I like to do this ritual. If I can't do it during the Libra full moon, I like to do it during when there's a moon that's like the half, you know, and it's so perfect because you are embracing like both sides. So if there's two sides to like what you're trying to heal, you're embracing both sides. You're looking at the shadow side of everybody. You're looking at the light side of everybody. And there are good shadow things and there are bad light things like expressing. So I think that a lot of people are just like, oh, they're very compassionate. They own a nonprofit. They do all this work. They do it. They may be doing stuff that has like good behind it, but it may not be the best thing for everybody involved. And there may be some people that it looks like they're not, that they're working in the shadow or they're working in dark, but it could be like a good thing. I know it sounds crazy, but there really is good in each and there's bad in each. Okay, sorry, I want to catch up. Do you burn like sage? Sorry, got here late. How our entire world energy needs to be healed right now. Yes, collectively we do need so much love and healing, like yin and yang. Absolutely, absolutely. So there's two sides to every story always, and that again is why I like to do this particular ritual in like the half moon. So and it helps me to purify, because I also feel like that it helps me embrace my shadow side. It helps me embrace that part of me without saying it's bad. It's bad, it's bad, it's bad, because it's not. Okay, it's not always. I mean, I can be a bitch just like everybody else. So, I mean, and I can be really good at it. Because I feel like if you're going to do something, you should be really good at it. You should do it well. So if you're going to be a bitch, just do it really well. Be really good at it. I think it's my bangs that keep knocking off my eyelashes. Maybe that's it. I am so much fun, really. I'm like, oh god. Well, I hope that you guys had a wonderful time tonight. Please check out La Hermosa Bruja. Um, and Realistic Holistic, if you're looking for crystals, if you're looking for the creosote that I bought from Rachel, is absolutely outstanding as a purifier. And also I use like sound, I use that more and more as purifier. And I also use I've been using light therapy, and so I've been working with some of that. Before I do a show about it, I'm like testing it out more. So I've been using light therapy to purify some stuff. So Virgo, Leo, redhead. Wow, Suzanne, that is a combination. Yeah. So, if you guys are looking for some smudge products, I definitely recommend La Hermosa Bruja. And I know a lot of people are going on Etsy strike, because I've seen on Facebook and Instagram that Etsy has apparently gone up on their percentage that they're requiring people to pay them in order to sell on Etsy. So if you're not wanting to buy on Etsy because there are people on Etsy strike, please check out Instagram, because there's a lot of great vendors on Instagram, like Doll Baby Witchery. She's on Instagram. I believe La Hermosa Bruja is on Instagram. I know Realistic Holistic is on Instagram, but she doesn't typically sell on Instagram. But there's some really great places, some really reputable places to buy from. And please, please, if you're not growing your own herbs, which I totally understand if you're not growing your own, please buy them from reputable places. You can even buy some from Sprouts. If there's a Sprouts near you, buy some from Sprouts in the produce section. They always sell rosemary, and they sell thyme. Yeah. So you can buy it there. Oh, and lavender. They do sell lavender there. So think about that too. Buy it from someplace reputable. Don't buy shit. Don't buy your herbs at TJ Maxx. Okay. I'm just letting you know. Love the small business. Yes. Thank you, Suzanne. Yes. It's great to support small businesses. Yeah. So you guys let me know if you have any questions. You can either leave messages in the chat, especially on YouTube. But if you don't want to leave messages in the chat, which a lot of people don't, they email me at metaphysicalroundtable@gmail.com, and me or Rachel will answer. And I can answer these questions for you as much as I can through email. Um, but some of the questions that people have had, I've been able to answer in another show. Like when people were asking me about why there were so many different names for the moons and stuff. So be great. But I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful full moon in Libra, and have a great Easter if you celebrate Easter. And but overall, just have a great weekend. And I will see you guys next time. And until then, get out there and make your magic. Bye.